Good evening. I'm Andrea of Andrea Gonzalez Motivations, and I am here to greet you with love, to inspire you with hope, to challenge you for change, and to impact you for life. Today is our Work It Out Wednesday, and I'm sorry that I'm coming to you sort of late in the evening. This morning, I actually didn't feel very well. I think that flu bug is going around. So make sure you're taking your vitamins, take your medicine, Lysol everything down, because I tell you, it really had me for a loop for a couple of hours today. As it's Work It Out Wednesday, I'm excited to talk to you about a word called goal, but we're not talking about goals. Actually, the acronym of GOAL is going to stand for growing on all levels. So we're just briefly going to touch on how to grow on all levels. The levels are growing physically, emotionally, to grow financially, to go and grow intellectually, and to grow spiritually. So those five we're going to talk about just very briefly. Growth is necessary if we desire to have a greater sense of life, to obtain a greater level in life. We're always to be growing. I like to give the analogy that if a woman has a baby today, brand new, newborn, they're little, they can't do anything for themselves. If you came to the hospital or to the house and greeted them with the baby, you'd be excited. But if you came back to visit 6 months later and the baby was doing the same thing, you'd be wondering to yourself, something's wrong. And something's wrong because the baby every day should be growing. The baby should be cooing, trying to move a little bit, holding their bottle from 6 months down the road versus the day that you saw the child right after birth. It's natural. Growth is a natural process of life. Now, we fight it most of the time. We fight change. We fight growing because it's not always very comfortable. But growth is necessary. It's necessary for a couple of reasons. One, you should not desire to stay the same person that you are. Number two is you can always aspire to be more. Number three, growth is important because as you mature, as you gain an understanding, there should be some growth that happens in you. As you learn more in school, it should help you put those things together so that you can apply them to your life. If you take a financial class, say that you're not as savvy with your finances. Taking a financial class should give you some more wisdom. It should give you better understanding on how to handle your finances. Growing on all levels is necessary. It's necessary because we just want to be better people. You ever hear the saying of, as I get older, I get better. You don't get better as you get older if you don't continue to grow. So we're going to talk about growing intellectually. I love learning. I love reading. I buy books even though I'm probably not in the season to read that book. If that book looks interesting to me, typically I'll buy it and then I'll put it on the shelf. And then as time goes on, something happens and I'll be looking through my books and that'll be the book that I need to read because I'm actually going through something that book, that title talks about that I need information about. You should always be willing to learn so that you can grow. Increase your knowledge, increase your understanding. Learn about things that you've never thought about. If you don't know how to cook, maybe you want to learn how to cook. If you don't know how to do something as simple as do-it-yourself home projects, get a book, learn, increase and grow your knowledge base. Grow intellectually. Don't be afraid to grow intellectually. Grow financially. Look at your finances. Create yourself a budget. If you don't know a lot about finances, if you're not that great with finances, there's always libraries. I know we don't like going to libraries because we have the internet, but sometimes you just need to put your hands on something so you can walk through it, read through it, and understand it. So if you're not good with finances, my suggestion would be Google something about finances. What part of finances are you struggling in? Are you struggling with finding a budget? Are you struggling with maybe understanding where you're spending the most of your money? Are you struggling with trying to pay off bills? So growing financially because maybe in 10 years you're getting ready to retire. Life is changing, getting ready to have a child in maybe 5 years, get ready to go to college. So your financial status is going to change. Your financial understanding is going to change. Not only just grow intellectually and grow financially, we all can get better. Also, we need to grow physically. As I get older, I also have a little bit more meat around my side. Those called love handles. I don't know where we get them from, calling them love handles. I would prefer they not be there, as I'm sure some other people. But I'm learning that because I was active 20 years ago, that didn't sustain me to be active now. I literally have to throw myself into desiring to get more physically fit. Not only getting physically fit with just my food intake, but also my activity. I'm really not one that likes to go to the gym, but I do like to walk. And so walking is exercise. I need to make and allow my body to be as healthy as it can possibly be. Reducing junk foods, cutting out pops and sodas. I need to watch the sugar intake because I am diabetic. I need to watch my carb intake. My physical body, the health of my body is important, and I need to grow. I need to grow so that I can be here in the years to come for my family. I need to be here so that as my children are growing up and they're developing their own lives, that I can be healthy enough that I can be here, that I don't need them to take care of me as I continue to age. And not only that, but I don't want to continue to get more and more medications from my doctor because I'm not taking care of my health. So not only do I need to get myself physically healthy or physically growing in the right direction, but my finances in the right direction. I need to grow my understanding and my learning. I also need to grow my spirituality. Growing spiritually means getting more in tune with who I am and my desires and centering myself. To live a life that is about peace and it's about tranquility and it's about joy, it does wonders to the body. At one particular time in my life, I was managing multiple things and it became very stressful. I didn't think it was stressful because I was always used to operating at a high level of stress. And so when I went into the doctor says, your hormones are all over the place. I looked at her and said, at that time I was a single mother. I was working full time. I was in college trying to earn a degree. And I said, what does no stress look like? And she says, I don't know what it looks like, but I know that you need to get to a place where you can de-stress. Wherever it is that you need to go within yourself, and you need to quiet yourself, and you need to get back on track, and you need to listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your mind. So spiritually, I am a believer in Christ, in Jesus. And so for me, it was getting back into the presence of God, because that's where I find my peace. That's where I have my joy. That's where I know that I can become the person that becomes more focused on what he's saying to me. And for me to be as stressed out as I was, I know he was saying I was doing too much at that time. And so to be balanced and to grow on all levels means to be aware. You need to be aware of what's happening around you. So it's important that we grow on all levels, that we're striving to grow intellectually, and we're striving to grow physically, and we're striving to be better financially, and we're striving to have healthier bodies. I mean, it doesn't make sense for us to have all of the knowledge, all of the information, and not put any of it to use in our own personal life. Last but not least, emotionally. We go through ups and downs and, twists and turns, and emotionally, sometimes we need to detox emotionally. And to grow emotionally would be to learn how to adapt, learn how to be flexible, learn how to be patient, learn how to be calm, learn how to take situations and not go overboard, but to calmly and to, with wisdom, think about them. Keeping your emotions where they need to be can be helpful. It can provide insight as well as the physical growth of your own being. Being emotionally censored, emotionally centered, not censored, emotionally centered can be well for you because it is only when you are well emotionally that you can make some very good decisions. When you're emotionally high, it's hard to make rational decisions. The Bible actually talks about don't be easily angered, don't be easy to make decisions when your emotions are high, because at that time you're probably not being very rational about the situation, but you're being very emotional. And so getting our emotions under control, getting our physical bodies under control, getting our money under control, getting our mind and our thoughts under control are all important. Today I want you to grow. I want you to grow on every level of your life because you are one being. And you are one being, but with many members. And it is important that as you grow, as you learn, as you develop, you can become this better self within. Let me leave you with a quote today. It is only after you have stepped outside of your comfort zone that you begin to change, to grow, and to transform. And that quote is by Roy T. Bennett. Never stop growing. Never stop challenging yourself for more. Never stop challenging yourself to look at the reality as well as the possibility. We talked about goal, and that is an acronym for growing on all levels. It was great talking to you today. I hope to talk to you soon, and it is a great Wednesday. Work it out within yourself. Continue to grow. I challenge you. Have a great day.